Hello everyone, this is Satyaprakash. Welcome to my channel. In this video, I will show you how to call NASA API in your application, and there are many entities like text, images, and date. So how to load from API to your web application like ASP.NET, PHP, Java, Python, any of your Angular, any of your application. So before starting this videos or session, you should go through my last video, that is how to consume isro web API in .NET and Bootstrap. So isro is nothing but it is a space agency in India. Okay, so same way in this video I have mentioned the NASA. So NASA is the space agency of United States of America. So first of all, we'll learn about what is NASA. So you'll get this NASA, right? NASA is National Aeronautics and Space Administration. It is an agency in US government. Okay, so they are doing some research on space, like how the galaxy, sun, moon, and stars, many things. Okay, so this NASA has one API. It has the API. So this is the API URL for NASA, right? So in this API there is many APIs. It is mentioned like APOD, Astronomy Pictures of the Day. Okay, so I will show you how to consume this API URL in my application. Okay guys, so guys, first of all we know about that is how to create a MVC application and how to consume it. So you'll get the reference of this video which I have created, how to consume the API in my MVC applications and how to show the output. So let's start my APIs. So here the API name is Astronomy Picture of the Day. So using this API, NASA everyday upload the pictures. Okay, you'll get everyday new pictures. So on whatever on Astronomy Picture of the Day. Okay, so there is many this is the get request. Okay, and there is some query parameters. So there is many parameters like date, type and default, start date, end date, parameter like count, thumbs and API key. So this is the default one. Okay, I'll use and show you this one, and later I'll show you the other parameters how to use it in your APIs. So this is the example query. You can see this I am using this API URL in my application and show the output whatever the data in this API calls. Okay, so what I'll do is I have mentioned few points in my notepad. So first step one is I go to NASA API's URL, that is this one. Okay, and I just use this URL which is same as this URL example query. Okay, and step number two is check NASA API response using Postman. So Postman is a tool where we can check our API request and response. So what I'll do is I just copy this URL, go to Postman tool. Here in the get request I have paste the URL, and there is some parameters. So there is one parameter, nothing but API key and value is demo underscore key. So after then when I click on send request, I'm getting the output right here. That is copyright is the one entity, date and explanation, and there is one SD URL. It is nothing but the image of image URL, and media type is image, service version, that is the version 1, title of this, and the another URL for image. Okay, so I need to consume this and I will get these values in my application. So this will be implementing for after calling this APIs in my MVC application. This data will be shown in my application. So instead of showing this URL, I'll show the image of this URL, of these two URL, that is SD URL and URL. So okay, so I'll show you the steps here. So step number 3 is we need to convert JSON object to C# class. So this is the URL. So how to do it? Here I have opened the same API URL here, right? So I just refresh it and copy these things. Okay, and go to the this one is for convert JSON to C# objects, so I paste here and convert. While I convert, you see all the JSON objects is converted to C# here, C# class. Okay, C# class is a root, and inside whatever you have, copyright, date, explanation, HD URL, media type, service version, title, URL, you are showing in the response. The same entity is creating in a C# class. Okay, so this is the thing we need to implement in our application. And step number 4 is we need to create a model class. So guys, here I'm in my last video I have used this MVC application, that is MVC Consume Web API. So in the same things I need to implement using the existing MVC application. Okay, so here as per the steps I need to create a model class. So model class here, under the model folder, I have created one class file, that is APOD. So APOD is nothing but the same name as the I have created as the APOD here, right? Because I'm using this APIs, that is Astronomy Picture of the Day. The short form is APOD. Okay, so here I've created the class name is APOD. So here you can see whatever after convert to the C# objects, same thing I have created in my class file. So instead of root I have used the APOD, so you can make any name of yours. Okay, so this is all the string variables, okay, of the return of this return variables is copyright, explanation, HD URL, media type, service version, title and URL. But for that time it is showing the string here, but for better visibility and modification of date, I just use the date time variable here. Okay, date time type. So step number 5 is I need to create a controller. So controller is I have created one controller in here under the controllers folder, that is Astronomy Picture Controller. So it is an empty controller. Okay, so I have created this one. So this is the controller. Okay, so here I'll describe the code part. So guys, this is the controller and I have used some namespaces. So to access this class in my application I need to use this namespace here. So I have used this namespace to access the APOD class variables, and I have used the serialization concept here to convert the JSON objects. Okay, the steps to convert the JSON objects in the stream of bytes, which can be stored in memory or files. Okay, so there is concept I have used the serialization and deserialization concept. So as for here I have used the serialization concept. So this is the important namespaces. Okay, and this is the action result method, that is I have created NASA APOD, and inside I have used the try catch block. Okay, so the try catch block I just use for exception handling, like if the URL is not working or you are not connecting to the internet, because this is the external APIs, so you should have the internet connection. Without it will be show errors, exceptions. So I'll show you later without internet connection what will be the output. So because of that reason I have mentioned the try catch block. So inside try block I have created one variable, and inside URL I have used this API URL, pass the API URL. Okay, whatever is showing here. So this is the URL of NASA API, and here using the web request class, it will take the URL value here, it will create the variable URL here, and this is the method is get. Okay, and the content type I have mentioned as application JSON, and it will, like web request, it will set as the web response. So web response has the get response method, it will be implementing using the request, and the stream class I have used, and it will show it will assign to the get response streams. Okay, and the stream reader class, it will assign the stream object of the stream class. And after then I've created one variable JSON, and it will be read end to end, the read all characters from current position to the end of the stream. Okay, and this line it used to deserialize the response. Okay, whatever URL API response we are getting, it will deserialize and it will be converted to our C# objects. So guys, here APOD is nothing but the class name, okay, and JavaScript serializer, and then the deserialize, you can see it converts a JSON formatted string to an object of the specific type. So I have assigned this JSON to here, and type of APOD is the class name. So here I have put two conditions, that is the W is the object of local of APOD. If it is not null, then using viewBack property I have assigned the using this object I can access the property name or variable name, that is copyright, like here, like, okay, whatever variables we can see, we can access this proper variables here. And here I just mentioned here the date time as a format, like it will show as DDMMMYY, okay, and explanations SD URL, media type, service version, title, and URL. And if the in else condition, okay, it will show this value 0. If data is there, it will show here the values. If data is not there, it will show as 0. And there is some model state errors I have implementing. If there is nothing, like it will show as server error, try after some time. And inside catch block I have used one exception, that is using viewBack, it will show as get base exception message, and after then it will return one view, okay, that is create a view result object by using model that renders a view. So after then, this is all about the controller, okay, and which used to consume the NASA API to show the details in the MVC application, okay. And next step is we need to, so next step is MVC controller file for consuming a web API, which I already have described. Step number 7 is we need to use a view using Bootstrap. So Bootstrap is nothing but to support a responsive design to all types of screen. And so this view actually I have created as a empty. So I already shown you in my previous video how to create a view. So I'll show you again that so I'll do here is I need to stop my debugging here, and I'll show you. So guys, so how to create the view, add view, okay, right click on it and add view. And once you click on add view, it should a template as you need to mention here as empty, and then you need to upload here, you just mention your class name that is showing your APOD, okay. Once it is due, you click on add, and once you click add, you can see under views folder there is one astronomy pictures, and you can see the NASA apod.cshtml, okay. So using this view we can see the output here. So I'll describe this view what I have done, okay. So after creating the view, we can see using the @model there is one MVC consume web API, the application name dot models, and the class name it is APOD, okay. And the I did not use any layout CSS/HTML, so it's showing the null. And in the header section I have mentioned the title, and this is the script types, style and scripts for support the Bootstrap. So I have used this for scripts and CSS. This is all the CDN, okay. This is not the physical files, okay. And okay, I have mentioned two more conditions. If viewBack.error not equal to null, that means if the exception is found here, so it will show output like some whatever exception is found. If not, in the else condition, it will show the successful output here. So this is the Bootstrap I have mentioned here, deep class container empty3, and this is the h1 tag, okay. And this is the some Bootstrap classes I have mentioned here for h1 and span tag, and for h4 tag I have mentioned the media type URL. So here I have mentioned viewBack.media type, okay. viewBack.media type means it will show the output as image, okay. That's the as per the response here in Postman. And then in copyright I have mentioned the viewBack.copyright. So here guys, remember using viewBack I just transfer all the data from controller to view. So just I have mentioned this viewBack copyright, everything in our view. So here viewBack.copyright I have mentioned. So viewBack.copyright is the output will be shown as Gianni Tumino. Okay, and in p tag I have mentioned the date. So here viewback.date, it will be show as the output like today's date, that is 30th August 2023. Okay, so it will show the date like here, and the service version I have mentioned here as the viewback dot service underscore version. So it will show the output as v1. Okay, and inside the card, that is a bootstrap card class, here I mention the width, and inside you remember I have used the image tag here img, and remember I have mentioned the viewback.url after the src. So that means viewback.url means it will be show the output like here, right? You can see this URL converted to an image. So I'll show you. I just copy this URL, that will be converted to the URL to this image. Okay, and then it will in the card body it will show as the viewback.title. So viewback.title is nothing but it will show this output like full moons of August. Okay, and then inside APOD ion, so in bootstrap there is one feature is bootstrap collapse or expand feature. So using this APOD ion we can implement this feature. Okay, if there is multiple text, we can just collapse it and expand it as per the requirements. So this is the feature I have implementing here. That okay, so there is a click for explanation, and there is viewback.explanation I have mentioned. So this is the output will be shown here like this. So you can see this is the explanation. So all this this kind of paragraph will be shown in my application. So though it is the very bulky and lengthy, so that's for that reason I have used the bootstrap collapsible feature using bootstrap APOD ion. So I'll show you in the output. Okay, and then what I'll do is next is I have used one more card, a bootstrap card. So there is one more media type SD URL. Okay, so there is, remember, one URL is for normal URL, that is and another URL is SD URL. Okay, so viewback.sd URL. So okay, media type SD URL is viewback.media type. So here the output will be shown like this, that is the image. It will be so media type is image, and here in the image tag I have mentioned the src like viewback.sd URL. So viewback.sd URL value is this one. Okay, as per the response. So this will convert it to the image. So what is the image is, so here I'll show, that is it will show as the image is this one. Okay, this will be image which will be shown like this. So because it's the SD URL, so it is a high definition image, so it will take some time to load. So both the images are same, only difference is this is the normal URL. Okay, you can see this name is different, and if you this SD URL, here is the name is different, some 2048.jpg. Okay, these are the difference between this here. So this image will be shown in the application. Okay, so after then I just close my div tag and body and HTML tag as well. So this is all about creating the MVC view and transfer the viewback properties and values from controller to view, and using the bootstrap to implementing the responsive design concept feature in my web app in MVC applications. So there is 8 values will be retrieved from API to our MVC application. One is viewback media type, 2 viewback.copyright, 3 is viewback.date, 4th is viewback.service underscore version, 5th is viewback.url, 6th is viewback.title, 7th is viewback.explanation. Okay, and 8th is viewback.sd URL. So this is common to both the URL. So I just this is the same, but the URL and SD URL is different URL name, but image are same. Okay, so this all whatever response I'm getting from Postman APIs, so same entities I have implementing in my application and call in MVC views. Okay, so next step is settings in route config class for initialize page load. So what I'll do is I go to route config.cs underscore app underscore start folder. So while the application will load initially, it will first go to the respective controller which I've created and the action method. Okay, and next is I need to show the output here. So what I'll do is I need to run my application. So guys, this is the output of MVC application. Okay, this is the controller and this action method, and in views whatever I describe this code and the section of it, it will be retrieved successfully from API to our MVC application. Okay, so you can see this output, and this is the date time. Okay, date, there is the version, and this is the image of URL. Okay, that is this one AP URL, and this is the title, and this is the explanation. I showed you that this is the explanation. Whatever you see here, same in the response. Okay, so same response I'm getting in API. So this is reflecting successfully in MVC application. So it is a paragraph type, so I am implementing the bootstrap collapse. So if you click on it, it's collapsed. If you click on again, it will be expand, and you can see this output, right? And there is the media type HD URL image here. So HD URL is nothing but this URL. Okay, so it is coming successfully. So in this way we can call NASA API in our application. So as for the NASA API, this is the astronomy picture of the day. So guys, every day NASA has given upload the new pictures, and today's image is this one. Okay, this image title is full moon of August. So in next day or day after onwards, the images will be changed, and the titles and the current date. Okay, and the explanation date. But as for the today's date, the whatever seeing data is currently fetching from NASA API URL. Okay, so I'll show you one more scenario. Like I told you that if there is some internet connection is gone, or you are getting some issues in your APIs. For example, I am just rename this API some invalid URL, like see that like this, and I just copy this. I just paste, save these changes, or you just and one more scenario, like you have lost your internet connection. Okay, or there is some issues like in API URL, like someone has edited the API URL like some invalid URL. So in those conditions, what will be the output in MVC application? So I'll show you that scenario also here. So guys, now you can see that for example, my internet connection is not connecting properly, or there is some down in server or API server, or the application the API URL is not correct, or it is an invalid URL. So you'll get the output like the remote name could not be resolved, and this is the URL it has mentioned here, right? Because I have edited this from API gtsf.nasa.gov. So where this exception is coming from? So this exception is coming from the catch block. Here I mentioned viewback.error using this exception class object get base exception. Okay, so and then the message will show. It gets the message that describes the current exception. So that is the exception I'm finding in case of any API server or issues, or any internet connection is down. Okay guys, so again I need to rectify my URL. Okay, and again run my application. So guys, now you can see my MVC application run successfully after rectifying the URL. Okay, and I'm getting all the text date, media type URL, copyright, version, images, and the title and the explanation, HD URL, media type, HD URL type, everything I'm getting whatever in the Postman API response, that is in the NASA API URL, whatever response I'm getting, same thing I'm getting in my MVC application after calling the APIs. Okay guys, so next thing is I'll show you that is how it supports the bootstrap. So right click on it, go to inspect element. So inspect element, you can see there is you can see using different devices, you can check your responsive support or not. So if you check the responsive, see it will be the output is you know uh, the output is controlling based on the device screen. Okay, and if you just give on one more devices, name iPhone SE, iPhone XR, or Samsung Galaxy, so based on device screen it auto adjusts the screen type of this application, because this application is consume the bootstrap support features. Okay, so here iPad Air, and if you check your iPad mini, okay, so I'm getting the output as the bootstrap. So I'm checking here as Surface Pro and Nest Hub. Okay, I'm getting this output like this based on the device screen. It will be auto adjust as per the device screen. So here you can also, as per the device screen, you can check the explanation, the bootstrap collapsible features is working properly, and I'm getting all the you know API response whatever I'm getting in Postman in our MVC application. So let's go to my presentation here. So guys, here I described the steps, that is add a model, controller and view, and what is the code for consume web API and load images. Okay, and next is this important things, as I have used this wrapper class. Okay, so some previous video I already have discussed what is a wrapper class. Okay, so this is the definitions, and the serialize in JSON, this is the definition. Serialization is process of converting .NET objects into JSON format. Deserialize is process of converting JSON data into .NET objects. And I have implemented one more bootstrap feature called basic collapsible using APOD ion. So these are useful when you want to hide or show the large amount of content. Okay, and okay, so guys, that's it for today. Thank you for listening. Have a great day.